Is it a swing set or is it a hammock stand? Is it a swing set or is it a hammock stand? Well, clearly it's a swing set. Really, I built it for the kids. They love it. Hi, I'm Jimmy, and this is my son Jet, and today we've had a cameo appearance from Jet's sister, Mary Tanner. Jet and I have been making some hiking videos and some camping videos. We've got plans for some other types of videos as well, things like flying and kayaking. But in today's video, I want to talk with you about some gear I'd recommend for anyone going out hiking and camping with kids. Now, you will notice in the title, I intentionally said some recommended gear, because I'm not trying to say that this is must-have stuff or the best stuff or stuff that you just have to have, because that's not what it really is at all. It's just some stuff that I personally enjoy having with me when I take Jet out on adventures, and I think some of you might enjoy having them as well. But before I get started, let me just begin by thanking those of you who are watching these videos and liking these videos, particularly those of you who have subscribed to the videos. That definitely encourages us to keep on making them. So if you get to the end of this video and you decide that you like what you see, think about subscribing. We'd enjoy it if you'd give us a thumbs up. If this is not your sort of thing, and listen, I understand if it is. My wife has no idea why anyone would want to go sleep outside at night. If this is not your sort of thing, maybe you know somebody who does like this sort of stuff. Share it with them. I would appreciate it, and maybe they would too. Well, let's go ahead and get to the first piece of gear that I have on this list that I want to share with you today, and it's my Lucy lantern. Actually, I think it's called a Lucy Outdoor 2.0. In fact, these made an appearance on our last video. Actually, I had two of them with us on that trip, but these lanterns are really cool because they are collapsible and easily packable. I like to hang them on my backpack so that they can charge while I'm hiking. Yes, they are solar chargeable and will run for 24 hours off of a single 7-hour charge. So normally, I like to set them out in the yard for several hours before I head out on a trip, and that will get them topped off with a full charge before I leave. And then after a full day hiking, when it's been riding around on my pack, solar charging all day long, I can unstrap it from my pack. I can take it and inflate it. I don't actually normally blow into them. I just grab the nozzle and sort of open it up like this, and it will fill up with air just like that. And I can then close it. Then there's a strap on the top. I will undo this strap, and I will normally take, and when I'm in my hammock, I'll strap it on the ridge line. The other night, when Jet and I were out in the tent together, there's a gear loft in the top of the tent. We set it up in the top of the tent to light up the whole tent. He actually wanted the lamp to stay on all night long, so fortunately there is an intensity setting. There's 3 different levels. I put it on the lowest setting, and it stayed on all night, which was no big deal because, like I said earlier, 24 hours of charge on this, or it'll run 24 hours off of a single 7-hour charge. In addition to the 3 levels of brightness that it also has a setting where it will flash, which I guess would be good in an emergency situation where you're trying to get someone's attention, something always good to consider whenever you are venturing out with kids. And it also has a battery indicator button that you can press to see how much battery life you have left. But remember, it will run for 24 hours off of a single 7-hour charge, and if you are charging it while you are hiking each day, you can probably stay out indefinitely without ever having to worry about not having plenty of light at night. As I said before, a big part of this channel is to encourage parents and help parents to get outdoors with kids, and this certainly made Jet more comfortable. The other night we set these 2 lanterns up by the fire. You could see that in the video. We also set them up in the tent, and it just made the whole experience much more comfortable for him, having a little bit of light around the campsite when it got dark. Now these things are not that expensive. They retail for like $25, but you can pick them up on Amazon right now for about $17. I will make sure to provide a link to these in the video description below, and I encourage you to think about getting 1 or 2 of these for your camping experiences with your kids. Now the second piece of gear that I want to share with you today is something that goes in my first aid kit and out with me whenever I'm backpacking or staying somewhere overnight, and it is something that is called a tick key. A tick key, and as you might guess, it's a little instrument that you can use to remove ticks from yourself or from your kids. Now, I'm sure that you can't tell from our accents, but we are from down south. And down in the south in the spring and in the summer and even into the fall, ticks are a real issue for us. If you take the proper precautions, they're not really that big of a deal, but they're also not something that you need to play with. And every summer, my wife and I find ourselves needing to remove ticks at least once or twice from our children over those months. So I was happy to find this little gadget in an outdoor store one day. Fortunately, we haven't had to use it all that much, but it works really well. You just place it over the tick and slide the tool across the tick and it will remove it from your skin. Again, it works pretty well, a lot easier than tweezers. Now, I realize that this is not an all that exciting piece of gear to be talking about, but it is something that I do think that you should consider bringing along with you on all of your hiking and camping adventures. The fact is, Lyme disease is serious. It's not something that any of us want to fool around with, and this is an easy way to safely remove ticks from yourself and from your kids, and they're relatively inexpensive. You can pick up one of these on Amazon for about $6, and you can get a 3-pack, I believe, for under $16. And so I'm going to include links to both of those options in the description below. All right, so the last piece of gear I want to talk with you about today is a bit more expensive, actually a lot more expensive than the first two items that I have shared, but it is still something that I think you should consider bringing with you if you're planning to take your kids outdoors, especially if you're thinking about taking them somewhere where cell coverage is non-existent, or even if it's just a bit spotty. And that device is called the Garmin inReach Mini. Now, I'll go ahead and tell you up front that these things run about $350 retail. You can pick them up on Amazon right now for about $300. There's also a monthly subscription that's necessary for the device to communicate with the satellite networks. You get those directly through Garmin, and they start at $14.95 a month. But a good thing about them is that they're month to month. You can cancel them at any time. So if you have a trip coming up, you can turn it on for a month and then you can turn it off after that. So you're not necessarily having to pay $14.95 a month all year long, just on those months where you're actually using it. I'm going to provide a link below to the different subscription plans, and along with that I'll provide a link to Amazon where you could pick one of these up if you choose to. Now, I'm not going to go into an in-depth review on this device. There are plenty of good videos out there that have done that. Instead, I'm just going to tell you why I like it. First, the most important feature this thing has is an SOS button that you can push, and it will send your coordinates to a search and rescue monitoring center that will dispatch emergency services to your location. It operates off of a satellite network and will work all over the world. So if you are out hiking somewhere and fall and break your ankle and have no cell phone service, this thing could literally save your life, and that's the main reason to have one. But there are other good reasons too. For example, you can also program 3 preset messages into it that you can send to folks back home just to let them know that you are okay. The 3 I currently have are starting to hike, made it to camp, just checking in, everything is okay. These are just good little messages to let people back home know that everything's going okay on your hike. You can also set it to send your coordinates so that they could actually see where you're at on a map and track you on a map if that's something that they would like to do. And you can send an unlimited number of these preset messages under every Garmin monthly subscription plan. But you can also send something that is like a regular text message. Each package includes a certain number of these each month, and then you get charged a per message rate above that. But these are good to have too in case you need to communicate in more detail with those back home. And they can also use this feature to communicate back to you. So just like with regular text messaging, you can have a conversation back and forth. Now, if you're going to do this, you're going to want to pair the device with your phone, which is very easy to do. Otherwise, you're going to have to use a pretty slow interface to send your messages. It's not difficult, it's just slow to do it that way. Now, this thing has a whole lot more features that I won't get into today because it would make the video too long. The bottom line is, it always knows where you're at. It's constantly sending your coordinates up through the satellite network so that people can know where you're at and come get you if they need to. You can use it to communicate with your friends and family back home to let them know you're doing okay. And if an emergency does happen, you have this SOS button that will send help your way. And so in my mind, for $300, that's a lot of peace of mind. It's peace of mind for me, who is out in the wilderness somewhere, potentially with one of my kids. And it's also peace of mind for my wife, who's back home wanting to be sure that everything is okay. So this might be something that would give you some peace of mind as well, and might be something you want to consider if you plan on taking your kids out into the wilderness. But that'll do it for now. I hope that you have found this video useful. Again, none of this is stuff that you just have to have, and there are alternative products that do the very same things. These are just a few of the items that I have, that I use, that I find useful, and I wanted to make a video to share with any of you who are thinking about getting outdoors with your own kids. And again, if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please think about doing that. Until next time, God bless and stay well. I hope that you can find some time to get into the outdoors before I see you again. And I hope that these videos are encouraging you to take your kids along with you when you do go. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time.
We're going to do other adventures like kayaking and flying, and like other adventures, and camping and hiking. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and please subscribe.